Everybody is not out to hurt you, and everybody's not out to get you. Everybody is not trying to manipulate you. Everyone is not trying to be malicious in how they come to you. Everybody's not trying to destiny swap with you. You know, you have to be careful listening to things on the internet, and you're taking this and you're putting it in a general standpoint to where you're viewing every single person you come across in this manner. It's good to be watchful, you know, especially when you're having interactions or you have people cross your path. Yes, you should always be aware, you know, but when you're operating from a place of being borderline paranoid, that's only going to hurt you. And a lot of times you can stop yourself from having good relationships with people whom you need to be connected to. You know, so you can't take everyone's opinion, a lot of popular opinions that go around, and just generalize it and say this is for everybody. You know, because there are people who are unaware of some things that they do, and it's not malicious. It's not malicious intent. They don't go around to have the purpose of hurting someone. You know, you have a lot who do, who know what they're doing, you know, who choose to operate from a space of, you know, manipulation or just being liars, you know, but everyone is not that way, you know. And so, and even here too, that popular opinion being that, you know, you always want to get in a circle of people who are above you. You know, if you're constantly doing that and you're cutting someone off, say who mentally in a certain area is not where you are, you hurt that individual. To turn that around on yourself, you know, it's like those ones who you want to get with, who you are on a higher level than you. What if they felt that way about you? You know, that looking at you as, well, this person is ignorant in this area, like, no, you know, we not on the same page. We not on the same level, you know, because they ignorant in this point. Like, that would do you a disservice. You know, you can't take everything that people are saying and just add it to yourself to be who you are. It's important that you be led of source. It's important that you be led and guided by your intuition, which is God within you. When you start listening to other people on the outside of you and using them as a driving force and a guide to navigate through life, it's no different than you going to a pastor, sitting in the church and cutting your intuition off and letting that pastor tell you everything that you need to do, every way you need to think, every way you need to move, and ignoring the beckoning that's on the inside of you to do something this way or to get with this person for this reason. You know, you can't make somebody else your God. You're just going in a loop doing the same thing. You have to allow the experiences that you face to help you to trust your intuition, to help you to trust yourself. You know, that's what you should allow even the purpose for your experiences to be. Learning yourself and learning who source is. That way you can better move through life with a knowing when it comes to certain things. You can know how to move because you have the experience to have been there. Not everything you need to learn by experience. I don't believe that, you know, but the experiences that you do have or that you are going through, pay attention. You know, not everything is generalized to where you can handle everything, everybody the same way, because you wouldn't want for someone to handle you the same way, you know. And I know when you talk like that, or someone, you know, gets to thinking like that, it's like because we're in a time where it's like, oh, you being religious and you're being this, you know. But when you really think about it, there's truth, I believe, sprinkled in every religion, just as well as there are lies sprinkled in every religion. You have to be able to discern, to know the things that not only benefit you, but benefit those around you. When you think a certain way and you do things a certain way, you know, when you take on a certain mindset. Not saying everybody needs to think the same. I know everybody is not going to think the same. That is fine, you know, but I'm talking to the person who has that desire to be self-aware, who know they have a purpose of helping other people, who has the purpose of you know, their life experiences shedding light to others who are where they've been, you know. So you can't take popular opinion and take that to just be your mindset and put it to everyone, you know. Think for yourself and critically think. For those who are asking for the guidance or asking to shed light on something that they've dealt with, you know, yeah, those things are good when you can tell from your experiences. And there are clear distinctions, obviously, of people who are manipulators. You know, it's clear distinctions of, you know, people who are suppressed, you know, people who are narcissists or covert narcissists, you know. But sometimes there are people who just have not come to that point or who don't have people in their life who gonna tell them the truth. And sometimes just you being that one person who took the time just to tell them the truth in whatever area, you can spark something within them to start that path of them becoming more self-aware. I believe like that we're in a time where people are losing love, you know, and it's making people's hearts cold, you know. And I hear so many people say how, you know, I can't find friends, it's hard to make friends. But at the same time, you know, everybody wants a friend. But at the same time, it's like you're so guarded when it comes to even allowing someone to come in your space, you know. And you're, like I said, borderline paranoid, judging every minute thing that they do, you know. And all the time you can't do that because some people are anxious, you know. Some people may have that anxiety, you know, that, you know, well, I don't want to do this because they're going to think that, or they're going to misjudge me on this, you know. And even if you're somebody who thinks that way, don't think like that. Be yourself, you know, that people can really see you. But those who are self-aware, those who, you know, have learned, sourced through their intuition, you know, those people have a better grasp on how to handle people. Many people are moving away from even knowing how to handle each other because you're so busy listening to all this, you know, popular opinion stuff on the internet. And many times a lot of those people ain't even gone through that. A lot of those people, sometimes some of them people don't even tell, you know, they can't even tell it from a pure perspective because they've been the people whom they talking about, you know, and that's how they operate, you know. But because of money or because of monetization, they want to just jump on the bandwagon of regurgitating the same information, you know, or adding their little spin on it or whatnot. And it's like, you can't take everybody's opinion to be truth. You can't do that, you know, and apply it to everybody that you meet and generalize it. So trusting source, in a way, you got to say to yourself that, you know, through my experiences, I trust that source is not going to drop the ball on me. I trust that, you know, I'm not going to be led into something that's going to be to my detriment. A lot of things that happen to us that are detrimental when it comes to people is because we ignored source. You know, because many times when you go back and you look over things that you've dealt with or things that you've gone through, and from people or with people, you had many warnings. You had, you know, source was speaking to you the whole time, but you ignored it because of whatever the reasons were, whatever, if it was your trauma or if it was because you preferred, you know, to ignore the red flags because you wanted to hold on to the flag that seemed so green and you didn't want to lose that green flag. You get what I'm saying? So you just got to learn. You don't have to learn every single thing from experiences, you know, or from having to experience it. That's why, you know, it's a wonderful thing that we have books, you know, that someone has written in the book, their 30 plus or whatever amount of time of experience, that we can take that and basically just catapult ourselves forward to where, you know, we can accelerate our mental, whatever. But there are some things that you do is good for you to learn through experience. Because when you learn certain things through experience, You experience how to handle people. You experience, you know, getting skilled at looking at certain things, you know, in people, to where it's something that now you know within self. You know, it's something that now you're keen upon, and you don't have to depend on other people's words and opinions on the outside of you who haven't dealt with this person, or who aren't dealing with this type of person with these type of experiences. So, yeah, just don't generalize everything and apply it towards every single person every time, because you can be misjudging. And, you know, yeah. Y'all have a good one.